So to illustrate what we saw on the previous slides, let's write some similar code. So we can say class person, and then in our main method here, we can say person equals new person. And we know this is a strong reference to our person. Then we can do a weak reference. We can do a weak reference of type person. And the reason for the generic type here is that when I call weakReference.get, it'll then return me something of type person rather than something of type object that I need to cast to be a person. So I can say wr equals new weakReference of person and pass this my person object. Once I have that, I can do person p1 equals wr.get, and that'll return me a reference to the person class. In this case, we have a strong reference to the person object. The weak reference simply wraps up that strong reference, and by calling wr.get, we can return that reference. And if we print out person here, so if I just do system.println p1, then we'll print the hash code of that person object. And if we run this, then indeed that's what we get. Okay, so let's try this. Let's get rid of all our references. I'm going to say person equals null and p1 equals null. And then I'm going to copy these two lines and then do person p2 equals wr.get and then print out p2. Now at this point, the garbage collector won't have run. There's not enough memory pressure. We haven't called system.gc, so the person object, even though we set the references to this object to null, it won't have been garbage collected. So at this point, as well as printing out the p1 reference, we should also print out the p2 reference, and they should be the same. We're still referencing the same object. So setting the references to null and then retrieving those references through the weak reference should retrieve us back that strong reference to the object. So again, if I rerun this code, then sure enough, we get the reference again, we print out the reference. So how about this? We set p2 to null, and we then call system.gc to run the garbage collector. So now person is not referencing the object, p1 isn't referencing the object, p2 isn't referencing the object, so the object has no strong references. We still have the weak reference that wraps up the object. So again, let's go copy this code and paste it here and call this p3. So at this point, the garbage collector has run. So now when we run the code, the last thing printed out here should be null. And there we go. So we see that at this point here, we still have a reference to the object, and we can still print that out. At this point here, we still have a reference to the object. The garbage collector hasn't run. We can still use the object, recover and use the object. But at this point here, where we've run the garbage collector, if I now try and recover the reference to that object, the reference has gone away.